Welcome back to another episode of the Selective Podcast. I'm your host, Exsar. After 2 weeks of interview episodes, we decided to take a step back and give you all a relaxing episode to enjoy this week. Joining me on the pod this week is my co-host, T. He's been away from the mic for a few weeks, but it's good to have him back. T, bro, how are you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. As always, pleasure to be back. I've been a bit busy the past couple of weeks, so I haven't had the chance to come on to the pod, but, happy to be back this week and looking forward to chopping it up with you and having a laid back episode.
Yeah, man, for sure. Because it's going to be a laid back episode, we're just going to kind of talk about what's going on in and around the industry, talk about Gap, Kanye, talk a little about collegium, vintage, stuff like that. But before we get started, dude, what have you been up to since we last got an update from you? Any pickups, any shopping? What's been on your radar lately?
Yeah, so I got to go to New York City finally. I hadn't been since the beginning of the pandemic when I initially had to leave. So I had like a huge accumulation of packages that I had been buying like over the course of the pandemic and more recently that had just accumulated in New York. So it felt really good to like finally see all that stuff in person, like my bare knuckles suede jacket, for example, which shout out to you, by the way, you put me onto that jacket. You kind of gave me like the final little nudge to pick it up. And I got to hold it in hand and shit. It's such a great piece. And so that's something that I picked up. I actually bought a pair. I haven't shown anyone, but I bought a pair of the Trophy Room Air Jordan 1s, which like, I don't know if you know, those are, Trophy Room Air Jordan 1s.
Those are back
like
doors.
The Chicago's. Yeah, so the back doors, shattered back doors. So, I don't actually know anybody who has a pair of those. And so I managed to grab my pair from a guy that actually does some work with Stadium Goods, and he got the shoes at Stadium Goods. So I knew that they were legit, and I was comfortable enough to pull the trigger at the price he was offering them for. And I don't know, I was a little skeptical on the shoe before I actually got it in hand. But dude, I remember we spoke with Dylan about how this is in like his top 5 Air Jordan 1s of all time. And man, I feel like it has to be in mine as well.
Really,
now. Like dude, genuinely, I'll get some pics up later, maybe sometime, like when I'm back in New York. I'm in the Bahamas right now. But when I'm back in New York, hopefully I'll get some pics up on my IG or something. But yeah, that's such a clean shoe. I have the Dior 1s, right? And the Dior 1s have like the blue icy translucent sole, whereas the Trophy Rooms, they have like a kind of a white kind of, I don't even know how to call it. It's more like a whitish, creamy translucent sole. And then it has like stars underneath. It's just such a clean shoe. And there's like Jordan's signature on the heel. I don't know. I just think it's so well executed. They're individually numbered too.
Damn.
My pair is numbered like 10,000 and something out of a total of 12,000. And if you think about it, the Dior Jordans, I believe the lows were 8,000 pairs and the highs were like, they were like 8,500 or 7,500 or something like that. But in total, we're talking around like 14,000 pairs if you combine the highs and the lows. So if you think about it, the Trophy Rooms are actually rarer than seeing a pair of Dior's, which is, when I did the math, I was like, that's pretty crazy. And you can get it for like a third of the price. Obviously, it's not a cheap shoe. You're still paying, over $2,000 for a shoe. But at the end of the day, it's a very rare shoe. And just like the Dior's, they're individually numbered. And I think that it's like a modern take on a timeless shoe, which is the Chicago Jordan 1, that colorway. And I don't know, I think it's very cool. It's a shame about how the release went. And with everything being backdoored, after the podcast, I'll send you a picture of Benjamin Kicks. Allegedly. But Benjamin Kicks, who is like a big like celebrity reseller, a sneaker reseller. Yeah. There's a picture on his Instagram, which we'll put up on the podcast for all you guys watching on YouTube. He's just sitting in a room and there's just like literally 200 pairs of the Trophy Rooms like in the room. And like so many resellers got hundreds of pairs, early pairs. At the end of the day, it's a real shame that that's how the release went because it's such a nice shoe and it ended up putting like kind of a sour taste in the mouth of a lot of sneakerheads. Yeah. But I feel like once you get over it and you actually see the shoe, you just can't be mad about it. I love the shoe.
Bro, I can't believe that because we were talking about that with Dylan. Like, oh man, like this shoe is like nobody has seen it. Like, does this shoe even exist? Like where is this fucking shoe? And now you got a pair of them, dude. Oh my God.
No, exactly. Literally no one has seen the shoe. It's crazy to me. Like genuinely, no one I know. Like I know a lot of sneakerheads and shit. Yeah. Shout out my boy Mike. I know he listens to every podcast. He's one of the biggest sneakerheads I know out in Canada. And even he told me, he's like, dude, I've only touched a pair of them like in a resale store or something, but like none of his sneakerhead homies have them. Like, yeah, I mean, they're the shattered backdoors, man.
Dude, shattered backdoors. Are you gonna like once we're in New York? You're not gonna wear those joints out, or are you? I mean, I don't know if I would
Dude,
wear
so
like a shoe like that out, but it's like a hard decision, you know?
that's the thing. I was actually having this discussion with Dylan the other day. It's like
Mm,
it's so hard when you buy something that's dead stock for you to be the one that's gonna undead stock it. You
right,
know,
right.
like I bought my Dior Jordan 1 lows. Unfortunately, I actually didn't get those for retail. I put a resale on those,
Yeah,
and I picked them up, and I paid pretty steep, right? Because I wanted to get them right when they came out.
right.
And I remember I got them, and I was like, damn, they're so clean, like they're brand new, like not creased and shit. But eventually I was like, okay, fuck it. I have to wear these. Like I
Right,
just fuck
right.
with them so much. And I think that I might get to that point with the trophy rooms. But for now, while I was in New York, there was like 3 different days where I was like, all right, today I'm gonna rock the trophy rooms. And then I would like take them out of the box and they'd just feel like so clean,
Right.
brand new, unlaced. And
Fuck.
I just like, I don't know if I can do it, man. But
Dude.
honestly, I'm contemplating even doubling up on a pair just so that I can have like a pair that I can rock and a pair that I can just like keep on ice.
I mean, you've done that. Don't you have didn't you double up on the unions too?
Yeah, I have doubled up on both colorways of the unions as well as I have doubled up on fragments as well.
I mean, to be honest, it's kind of the move if especially with a shoe like that, like, cuz that shoe's going to go down in history, especially like you're mentioning the story about it, right? Like the whole backdoor shit, allegedly, like everything that went down with that shoe, like people are going to look at that 5, 10 years down the line and be like, "Yo, like there was a story with this shoe." And like to have a dead stock pair would be like a trophy in your collection with the story
Yeah,
with it, you know what I mean?
yeah. No, definitely. I feel like over time, it's like a watch too, right? Like if
Mm,
you have a watch that came out like 10 years ago and throughout these past 10 years, nobody's worn it and it still has like its stickers on and shit, like in 20, 30 years, that's like a time capsule. It's like
mm,
an actual physical copy of something that came out 30 odd years ago and that has been completely untouched throughout 30 years. So it's like you get to know exactly what that looked like, when it came out of the factory, I guess, right?
right.
And so I feel the same way about, sneakers. I mean, sneakers nowadays are collectible, whether you like it or not. It's, these increase in value. There's a
Assets
huge
too.
market for them. Exactly. They're almost like an asset. It's a collectible asset.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, that's just, I contemplate just keeping a pair on ice and just buying a second pair. I think I might have to if the prices dip a little bit and I manage to grab like a pair for less than what I paid for my dead stock pair right now. I might be tempted to rock.
Well, dude, if you had two, then you'd be really showing people up because most people will never see one. So hopefully your plug
Yeah,
at Stadium Chris can come through with the second pair. That'd be fucking nuts. Um,
yeah, that's facts.
dude, the bare knuckles jacket. So I think it was like the first episode of the pod. Like we talked about that, and I remember I was on a call with you, and you were like, we were like talking about the podcast, brainstorming, and then randomly at the end, you were like, "Hey, dude, should I buy the bare knuckles jacket?" And I'm like, "What the fuck? This guy wants it." They had your size left, and you copped it on
Yeah,
you copped it
exactly.
on the phone, and so it's been like months since that happened. Finally
Yeah,
able to
it
go back to New
has.
York. You picked up the jacket. Like honestly, tell me because when I got out of the box, I was like blown away with like just how heavy it was. So like when you
Oh
got it,
yeah,
like how
dude.
did it feel?
So yeah, like you said, I mean, it was a couple months back now. It's actually
Yeah,
crazy to think like how fast time's been going by. And yeah, we were on the phone. I remember they had done the release. I saw even before they did the release, I had seen Jacob Keller tease a picture with this suede jacket. And I was like,
yeah,
wow, dude, that's really clean. Like, depending on the price point, I might be tempted to cop that. And I remember they did the release and everything sold out except the suede jacket because it was like $900 odd
yeah. It was like
I
nine
think, for
fifty, I
retail.
think retail. Yeah,
Yeah, 950. And the only size that hadn't sold out was the size small, which is the size that I wear in jackets. And I was like, damn, this thing is tempting me. Like it's still here. And I remember I checked in like the next day, it was still there.
yeah,
Checked in the next day, it was still there, and I was like, damn, it's tempting me. It's tempting me.
right.
And then, I met you and we brought you on the selected team, to do the podcast and everything. And the first thing I noticed on your IG is that you had this jacket. And I was
Yeah,
like, damn, dude, that's a nice jacket. And you had some great pics with it on too, honestly.
thanks, man.
Salute. And I like a lot of like an array of different brands, high end, low end, but I
Yeah.
had never bought a jacket on the quote unquote a suede jacket on the quote unquote lower end of the market. Like
Right.
I do own a Tom Ford suede jacket, which is and that was a very expensive piece.
Yeah.
I also have an Hermes suede bomber, which was also a very expensive piece. But I had never bought a suede jacket, for 950. At the end of the day, 950 is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong for a jacket, but I feel like on the craftsmanship end, and when you look at a material like suede, which you have to treat it, it's literally leather that they get to look like that. I mean, if you
Right.
think about it,
It's
it's
yeah.
actually a pretty crazy concept on its own.
Yeah,
And
it's
so I was
like
like, oh,
Suede is like a different level, and like sorry to interrupt you, but like you were saying, it's like it's expensive, but in hindsight, when you look at what it takes to make a cut and sew suede jacket, it's not. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. It's like if you think about a leather jacket, that's already expensive, right? And
Right.
then they have to treat the leather to become suede. So
Right.
it's like a next level of I guess, craftsmanship. And so I ended up pulling the trigger. I had no idea what to expect. I just trusted your word. And
Hello.
man, like you really said it. Like you pick it up out of the box and it's just heavy.
Yeah.
Like it's heavier than like any suede jacket. It really feels like a leather jacket in
Yeah.
a way. And the material's thick. And I really liked it because the suede, the the bare knuckles suede jacket is more like a thick suede.
Yeah.
It's more like I don't know. It's different. It's
It's
more like I
different.
imagine that it's like a cowboy suede jacket.
And when
That's
it
like I
like
get like
out of the box, it has that smell too, doesn't it?
smell. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has like this brand new kind of like suede smell.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to describe it. You just have to smell it.
Yeah.
But the jacket was really special. I'm really happy I copped that. I just think it just fits right into my wardrobe. And
Yeah.
I mean, I look forward to when we're back in New York in the fall and in the winter months, getting some fits off in that jacket with like a nice gray hoodie underneath or something. I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
that could be a vibe.
Oh yeah.
And
Gray
bro,
hoodie
on the
underneath.
topic of yeah, gray hoodie and the jacket. I mean, I feel like you can't go wrong like some
Winning
common
combo.
projects or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a winning combo. But on the topic of suede, I was saying another pickup actually that I recently made was my I just got my custom pair of Chrome Hearts carpenter pants that I actually got custom
No.
made with suede patches. So I shared a picture the other day on my IG on my story, and like a ton of people went crazy
Wait,
for
you can
them.
do that? You can customize the leather to the suede crosses? Is that what that was?
Yeah, so basically, like nowadays with Chrome Hearts, I mean, I guess if you're a good client, or I mean, if you just have some history with them, you can
Right.
ask them to make you a custom order. So, whether that's, you want like different colors on your crosses or different materials. I've seen people do gold hardware instead of silver hardware. I've seen people do like alligator leather patches.
Really?
Like, you can really go crazy. I mean, if you have the budget, I feel
Right.
like you can do whatever you want.
Right,
And to give
right,
you an
right.
idea, like if you're doing a custom piece, per cross. So if you want a single normal leather cross per cross, Chrome Hearts is going to charge you $75. If you want 10 leather patches on your pants, that's $750 just in patches,
Right.
right? Not to
Not
mention,
even the labor, the pants, the construction, everything else.
yeah, not even, yeah, exactly. Like that's not counting like the retail for the actual pants itself, right?
Right.
So the suede patches, I believe they were like 95 or $100 a piece, which I was like, damn, dude, that's steep.
How many did you get? How
And
many patches did you get?
so so I had asked them for 14 patches. And what's
Sheesh.
crazy is that when I received the pants, they actually only had 12 patches on them. And so,
No.
yeah, I was a little disappointed to be honest. And I let my Chrome Hearts rep know. I was like, yo, what's up? Like, there's only
Right.
12 patches. We'd spoken about 14. And of course, she was like, damn, like, I can't believe that they did that, And what's crazy is that I waited 7 months for those pants, right? Like, to be ready. And
Right.
nowadays, she was telling me that custom orders are taking up to 1 year because apparently the factory is so backed up because, Chrome Hearts has exploded, obviously.
Right, right. Okay. So, okay,
And
but before we go on that, explain that to the audience, right? Because I don't think a lot of people know how the commission stuff works. So, like with Chrome Hearts, like you can buy like the t-shirts and the hats, like all the crap
the
that the
hoodies, yeah,
hoodies, the crap that is not Chrome. In my opinion, is not Chrome Hearts, right? When I think
right,
Chrome Hearts, I think of the silver, I think of the hardware, I think of the
absolutely.
craftsmanship. So, when you commission a piece at Chrome Hearts, like what is the process like? And is it like a strict and strenuous process to do it?
So I guess it depends, right? Like I've done now like 3 custom orders with Chrome Hearts. And yeah, I mean, I've developed a really good relationship with one of the reps at the New York location, which is their flagship store, which is
Yeah.
downtown, which used to be right next to my old apartment in New York in the West Village.
Yeah.
So I used to go there pretty often. And yeah, I mean, basically, I bought a lot of stuff there. I've had a lot of pairs of the jeans, but I had never had a pair of the Carpenters, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And so my rep was like, yo, we just got the Carpenters in. Let me know if you want a pair. I'll put them on the side for you. I was like, yeah, I would love a pair.
Yeah.
And so she's like, great, you know, she has my card on file, ran my card, and then she had the pair on the side there for me. And so during the pandemic, she was shipping out a lot of stuff to me as it would arrive.
Right. Right.
But so they had the pair there, and I was like, no, it's all good. You can just leave it there, because at that time I thought I would be in New York sooner than, you know, a year and a half.
Right. Right.
But so the pair stayed there, and eventually, like, I realized that I wasn't going to be able to go to New York anytime soon. And the jeans had just really started popping off, and I was seeing like celebrities wear the Chrome Hearts jeans with like the leather patches, and like a lot of people on Instagram and shit.
Yeah.
And I thought that they were super fresh. I'm not gonna lie. Like when they came out, I thought that they were actually so sick.
They're hard. I mean, the flare at the bottom is hard. Like the positioning of the pad. Like if you get, I like it when the patches are a little lower, like on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's hard as fuck. I think it looks so nice.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like also if you're getting denim, it really depends on the wash for sure.
Yeah.
But since the Carpenters, like I really just wear black nowadays. I wear a lot of black.
Yeah.
And the Carpenters were just all black. And so since I had like 4 pairs of the denim at that point, I was getting very tired of the denim very quickly, especially because the patches, like I had a blue pair of denim, I had a white pair of denim, I had a light gray pair of denim, and I had a black pair of denim. And the pair that I actually ended up wearing the most was the black pair, because I felt like since the patches were black and the jeans were black, it was kind of low key. So it was like
low key flexing, you know what I mean?
This guy's, from a distance that people are like, yo, this guy's wearing normal jeans. And then you get up close and, you know, you see the silver hardware, and you see the patches.
And then, you know it's Chrome Hearts, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what it is. But I had really liked that kind of like low key vibe. And so when I decided that I was going to do a custom pair of my Carpenters, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do black crosses for sure. Right. And so I let my rep know, like, yo, I'm going to want 14 black crosses. Like I drew exactly where I wanted the crosses, like on my iPad.
Really?
So she knew exactly.
It's that custom. So I knew,
oh yeah, dude. You like, if you're willing to pay for it, they'll do it for you.
Right.
And so I drew the patches where I wanted them, exactly how I wanted them grouped and shit. And then I sent them to her. And then she was like, it was actually by chance, she showed me this right when I sent that to her. She was like, oh, by the way, we just got this new patch sample that we can do now. And it was like, what's that shit called? Like pony hair or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like,
right. It's like a little, I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. We'll put a picture up.
Yeah.
But it was like my white pair with the leopard patches, they were also like that. They had like that little kind of, you know, hair.
It almost looks like suede, but just like thicker, like longer a little bit.
Yeah, it's like the feeling of no, it's like, you know, like when you touch a horse, it's kind of like that, you know, like the little hairs. Okay, I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, so she sent that and I was like, damn, I hadn't even thought about the fact that you can do like custom materials. You know, I was like, yo, it has to always be leather. So I started thinking, and I was driving my car that day, and my car has Alcantara seats, right, which is like a very thick suede. And it
was fate.
And I remember, and I was like, damn, that's kind of hard. Like the suede, I feel like if I did suede patches, that would be kind of hard. And I've never seen anybody do it, right?
Right.
And so I let her know. I was like, yo, do you think that you guys could do suede patches? And she was like, damn, actually, I haven't seen anybody do that. I would have to ask. Okay. And sure enough, a week later, she was like, yeah, we can do the suede patches. I was like, fucking sick, you know, run it.
Damn.
And so I'll add a picture so that you guys watching on YouTube can see. But this is how they came out. You know, I think they came out so sick. And I'm like, I wore them literally like 4 out of the 5 days that I spent in New York, like 2 weeks ago. And then I wore them every day while I was there last week. And dude, it was like, they're just so nice, man. They have this weight to them, and the fit is like very baggy. But if you're wearing like a pair of Vans or a shoe that has a thicker sole, I feel like it just looks really, really nice. And you can just wear those pants and like a black t-shirt and like a pair of like, I was wearing them with these green Vans that I recently got. Another recent pickup that I actually really been fucking with. And I just think that it's just such a clean look, you know? Like,
Yeah, like a low key kind of flex look. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Honestly, like it's just very low key with my fucking carpenters, and yeah, it's just the vibe, man. And especially as like those New York days where the sun's out,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
warm, but at the same time it's like a little windy, so you
Right.
don't want to be wearing like shorts. And like I told you, the carpenters are very thick,
Yeah.
right? And so they just like block wind and shit. They're just perfect pants for spring and for the upcoming fall.
Damn, man, that sounds crazy. Yeah, I think people don't understand like how the process of like getting something commissioned from Chrome Hearts. It's like very like meticulous, and like these things take time. The wait lines
Yeah, I
are
mean, like
super
I said,
long
it
these days. Dude, 7 months
took
is a
seven
long
months.
time.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so when you go to the flagship store in New York, do they have stuff in stock, or is it pretty much like mostly all commission?
Dude, nowadays, like if you want anything that's like, I don't know, hard to get, they will never have it in stock. Like
Really?
nowadays, you could never walk into a Chrome Heart store and get a pair of denim. Never.
Wow.
Like with patches on them, you can't really get anything with patches on them unless it's like $6,000 leather jacket or
Right,
something
right.
like that. It's like the really crazy stuff that doesn't really move that much.
Okay, all right. So if I were to walk in Chrome Hearts New York and I said, look, I want a pair of denim, maybe 10 crosses. I know it's not a lot, but 10 crosses. Do they supply the Levi's, or can you bring them in yourself, or like do they do that for you?
Dude, that's actually a good question. To my understanding,
Yeah.
I believe that they strictly source and supply all the vintage,
Okay.
but I've never tried to go in there with my own pairs of jeans and be like, yo, can you guys Chrome Hearts this?
Right.
But I do know that I believe it was ASAP Bari when they were really popping off. He had a pair of like Dolce Gabbana jeans
Probably some
that
whack ass
had been
jeans
like,
that if it's
yeah, no,
Bari
they
is
had a
whack.
terrible, dude. They had a terrible wash on them. They were like this
Uh,
blue. No, they were just a horrible pair of Dolce Gabbana jeans that you decided to like Chrome
uh,
Hearts up. I mean, I get it, it's different,
right, right.
but I don't know if it's good different, right?
Right. Yeah, I say that because one of my recent pickups, my girlfriend and I went vintage shopping. I'm still in Austin for those listening, and I'll be back in New York in a couple weeks. But I bought these pair of 501s, and with 501s, man, you just don't know how because they're so old. Like your waist
Right.
size is like not your waist size. You always need to size up or whatever. And I happened to find in the store, and I'm really tall, as you all know too, so I need like a long ass inseam. And I actually found a pair. It was like 34 by 36, bro. Like by 36, like fucking like if I were to hold them up, they just go forever. And
Dude, I rock 30 by 30, I believe.
yeah, dude, these joints are hella long. So, but I was worried about the waist that they wouldn't fit because they're old as fuck. They're like from the 80s. Put them on, they fit like a glove. They like stack really nicely. So, and I'm wearing them right now, and I love these pair of 501s. So maybe when you're in New York, I'll take them to Chrome Hearts. I might embarrass myself if I say like, "Yo, Chrome my jeans out," but you never know, bro. You know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah. No, I feel like right now the wait list is so long that they might actually not even do like requests for people
Right.
who are like first timers,
Yeah.
Like my friend who I know shops a lot at Chrome Hearts, he did a custom order for a pair of carpenters not long ago. And like I said, I mean, they told him it would be like around a year or more, to get those. And
Jesus,
it's
man.
like a year or more, you don't even know if you're gonna like those pants, in a
Right.
year or more, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't even know if I'm gonna be alive in a year. You know what I mean? Like the world can change so much in a year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. I want a ring though. Do they have those in stock, or is that something that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I went with so right now, because of the pandemic, they're currently doing like you have to schedule an appointment.
Right.
So you write them like an email or whatever, you schedule your slot and you come in and you can bring like one person with you. I went with my younger brother who was actually in town as well. And he wanted to get a ring and I ended up copying a ring for him. But yeah, they have a huge selection of rings in store and like any kind of pendants you want, jewelry and shit. Like they have a lot of, and I feel like that's like the true,
Chrome
like you
Hearts.
said, I mean, the silverware is the true Chrome Hearts.
Yeah.
And like my daily chain that I wear, I have like a gold chain and then I have two pendants. One of them is the letter T, Chrome Hearts letter T in gold. And then I also have a hand of Fatma. I don't know if you guys know what that looks like. I'll add a picture also for the listeners. But I also have a gold Chrome Hearts Hand of Fatma, which I saw them do, and I don't really know a lot of people who have. So
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. It was expensive, but it was definitely cool.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that when I get there, because Chrome Hearts for me, like we talked about, and you guys already know, it's more about the hoodies, the printed crap. Like to me, it's about the craftsmanship. Like I want to build a rapport with the people there. I want them to know that I'm serious about it. But at the same time, I feel like that has to start off small. So I'll pick up a ring, maybe pick up a ring for my girlfriend and I, and then go from there. Because it's a it's a professional business that has a history rooted in craftsmanship, and I don't want to try to like skimp. But to respect for the brand, like I would go in there with a purpose. Maybe pick up a piece of jewelry or something. But hey,
Yeah.
man, moving on, great pickups. I wanted to talk about Kanye Gap. So when y'all are listening to this is the week of Kanye's 44th birthday, and it's also the week that he dropped his first piece with Gap, which was the bomber. And it's not a bomber; it's a jacket. It's called the round jacket. Excuse me, like a sky blue, made with recycled nylon, and it was pre-ordered in the U.S. only. Now, shout out to Sean, the guy who helps run our social for the Selective. He actually hit me up before we started recording, and he said, "Yo, they didn't sell out. It was an error. It's actually available for pre-order until June 15th, bro." So now I'm like, holy shit! Like, is that gonna affect the resale? Like, is this jacket like just gonna be everywhere? But before we get there, initial thoughts on the jacket. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think could you style it? It's such a weird piece, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a weird piece. I've been looking at it for like the past 4 days or whatever, and I still can't tell if I like it or not.
Have you
Honestly,
been like getting lost looking at it? Because I feel like I keep watching the video of it like rotating, and I'm just like, what the
I
fuck is
just
this thing?
I can't understand if it has like a shine to it or not.
Right.
Like I can't understand if it's like a very loose material or
Mm,
not. Like it's hard to get an idea of exactly what that jacket is. It's definitely interesting. I feel like that's the word to describe it. I'm interested by it. I'm intrigued by it.
yeah.
But it's made out of fully recyclable nylon,
Yeah.
right? I
Nylon.
think
Yeah.
that's dope, honestly. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's Kanye's first piece with Gap. I think it's a cool piece. It's an interesting piece.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, I didn't personally know that it was just available for pre-order,
Yeah.
like unlimited with an unlimited supply. But at the end of the day, it's available for pre-order now, but delivery I believe is only in the fall
It's in the
of
fall,
this
right?
year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the pre-order will stop, and then there's going to be a period of time, and then deliveries are going to begin.
Yeah.
And so at that point, when people start getting the jacket, if the jacket is super nice in person, everybody who didn't pre-order is then going to be like, "Oh shit, my homie just got this jacket. It
I got a
looks sick.
cop.
I want to get one." And at that point, it's like, who has jackets? The people who pre-ordered, right?
All right.
And so at that point, you have to pay resale. So I feel like if it does get to that point, and if the jacket is nice in person, well executed, then that will drive the resale prices eventually.
Yeah. So I copped one. Whether I'm gonna
I also copped one.
yeah, whether we're gonna resell or not is yet to be told. You know what would be cool, dude? We should do a YouTube video on it. No, like when it comes in.
Damn, that's crazy. We're 100% gonna do it. Let's 100% do a YouTube video on that when it
Yeah.
comes in. But I was actually talking to Dylan earlier, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I want to make content with this Louis Vuitton jacket, the varsity jacket that's in the
Mm,
fall winter 21 show
yeah.
that's about to hit stores coming up. And I'll put up a picture, but that green leather, like Letterman jacket is so hyped, dude.
Yeah.
I've heard everybody like tell me, dude, this is the nicest Louis Vuitton
Is that
jacket
is
that
that the
Virgil's
green one?
done.
Is like a forest green?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a dark green. It has collars. The sleeves are white and it has like these cool patches on it.
Mm,
I'll put up a picture as well.
yeah.
Um, it's such a nice jacket, dude, and I know that it's coming to stores very soon. I already hit my rep up to get that jacket, and yeah, I mean that's a jacket that also I feel like we have to make content with
Yeah.
for the Selective YouTube channel. I mean, speaking on that, that's something we've been discussing a lot recently. We want to up our game, obviously, once we're all in a physical location in New
Mm,
York. So hopefully, we're going to be able to start doing a lot of content for the Selective.
yeah. Yeah. We're gonna be doing
Our
like a little studio, YouTube videos, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and reviewing pieces that otherwise, wouldn't be able to get that much coverage, I feel like. So pieces like, like you said, the Yeezy Gap jacket, or this Louis Vuitton varsity jacket, and a lot of other pieces,
Yeah.
depending on the inventory that we get and whatnot. I feel like there's a lot of good stuff coming. So make sure to subscribe, hit that like button if you
Yes,
guys are on
sir.
YouTube. As always, leave us a review if you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, sir. Yeah, all that stuff helps out a lot. And then once from the physical store, man, we're gonna be hitting a lot of the YouTube content with video. And the cool thing about that is that like you said, like some of these pieces, not everyone can get their hands on. So it'd be cool to have like people give an overview of some of these pieces, not just as articles of clothing, but as pieces of art too. So the Gap jacket is definitely gonna be the Yeezy Gap jacket's gonna be included in that. Um, on a personal note, picked up the piece. And everyone I know, my mom was like, "Yo, that's hideous," and like everyone's like, "Yo, like that's a hideous jacket," and I'm just kind of concerned, not concerned, but like worried about how I'm gonna rock it myself. But the fit that Kanye had, and I'll put it up. He was wearing a pair of Nikes actually. I think he was wearing a pair of Blazers. He was wearing like these black flared cargos, like a black shirt, and then the jacket up top. And like I'm thinking to myself, like I have that fit. Like I can just throw on a pair of Jordans, the like my Ophiles flared pants, like a black vintage tee, and then the baby blue Gap jacket. And I don't know if that's gonna work out. I'm kind of worried about it. But if it doesn't, maybe resell or even just keep in the collection as a piece of fashion history. But nevertheless, it's an interesting piece. I think it's a weird piece to come out initially, but it definitely is a piece that like makes a statement as his first. And I don't know, man. I'm interested to see what Gap and Kanye cook up because let's be honest, Gap, those big retailers are dying. You know what I mean? And like these guys needed the help in some way or form to stay afloat. And I think what Kanye does with Gap could help the company, stay up for years to come. But um, I don't know. I don't know. T, you gonna cop any of the hoodies, any other stuff that drops? Or you just gonna kind of wait and see what they look like?
Dude, I mean, I like I like a lot of the hoodies that he's done. I believe he did like a light purple kind of hoodie,
Yeah, he
which
did
I
it for
really
the
liked.
election.
Oh, really?
Dude, that
Damn.
hoodie, my boy has that hoodie. Dude, it's fucking heavy. It's like three hoodies stitched into one. And when he rocks it, it like fits like super boxy. Fucking nice hoodie, dude. Super nice hoodie.
Damn. That's sick, dude. I had no idea. No, and the jacket, I feel like first of all, it was $200, right? Retail, I
200.
believe.
Yeah.
I think that's like a solid price point if you think about it. I mean, we were just talking about earlier, $950 for a bare knuckle suede jacket. But
Yeah.
if you think about it, at the same time, it's nylon, right? And nylon is not an expensive material
No.
whatsoever. So,
No.
I mean, if I don't like it, obviously, I'm just going to sell it, whether it resells or not. I don't see myself, keeping space in my closet for something that I don't really enjoy.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to wait and see, right?
Yeah, and it's not that big of an investment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like you're spending the bank, on a
Yeah.
jacket that you might not wear. It is what it is. So I'm excited to get it. Um, moving on, dude. I wanted to talk about Collegium. Y'all know we talked about Collegium on the pod before. Sneaker company out of Los Angeles. They've made the Pillar Destroyer High, which is the shoe that Joel has come on and vouched about. It's a shoe that I have two pairs myself. I fucking love that shoe. It's a shoe that I'm trying to get T to buy. I think he'll like one of these days he'll get the OG colorways. It's a beautifully crafted shoe made in Italy. Really good materials. I think Nick and the team over there are doing a great job of crafting that shoe. But they recently showed what they call the Collegium Case Study 006, which is very reminiscent to the Louis Vuitton trainers. Um, I showed the boys on the selective a picture of it, and everyone's reaction was like, "Wow, they look pretty similar." Uh, T, what was your first reaction when you saw that sneaker?
Dude, I would say pretty similar is an understatement.
You think so?
I feel like when you sent that picture, I was like, damn, Virgil switched up, the silhouette.
You thought it was Virgil?
I was like, yeah, it was like, dude, I mean, it has to be. I mean, at the end of the day, the design is too similar, in my opinion. There's like a difference between being inspired and then, doing kind of your own take on it and just blatantly, I would say, copying. Honestly, I mean, I think the design is too similar for me, and even the colorway. It's like black, gray, and red, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the exact same colorway that he first launched the LV trainer in. And I actually had that exact colorway. And it's just too similar to me.
What's interesting is that when you look at and we'll put a picture on the left on the pod of the LV, and then on the right the collegiate pair. The midsole, the way like it goes out and then it dips and then it goes back up. That's the first thing that caught my eye when I saw it. The midsole looks extremely similar to me, and the little panel of red stripe at the bottom of the front of the midsole also looks kind of reminiscent to what is on the LVs. I'm actually going to put up a picture of the black pair, because the black and gray pair of the LVs, because it also has that red strip. I don't know, man. I really, really love Collegium. I love what Nick's doing. I vouch for the brand a lot. I think he's doing great work, but I think they're pretty similar, and I'm not worried about it per se. It's a shoe that I would cop. I don't know. I hope that the backlash from it isn't too much or hurts the brand a little bit. So, I'm assuming it's a pass for you if they came up.
Yeah, I mean, I only own the recently released like whitish, full white pair of the trainers right now. I've had several different pairs in the past, but those are the only pairs I have right now. They're really clean. They're just kind of like a thicker version for me of like a clean all white common project that I always wear. And so I have those. But yeah, I mean, the collegiums are definitely a pass for me. I can't get over the toe. I'm looking at the picture right now. Like the toe box has the exact same construction, dude. It's like that gray comes from underneath, and then the black is like the front. It's just too similar.
You see like the red on the picture of the collegium, like the red, like towards the front of the toe box at the bottom of the midsole, like the red little stripe.
Yeah, dude, that's the same thing. Literally, it's like that's crazy. I mean,
it's a little scary.
I think that the design will have to change, or the colorway will have to change at least before they actually make it to release. I don't know. He posted the picture and it said 95% complete test colorway.
Yeah,
I feel like it's just there's no way that they do this.
Yeah, yeah, and people in the past have like called out Collegium for copying Rude, which I thought was BS, because although the silhouettes are similar, that's BS. Like, although the silhouettes are similar, like Nick is not charging what Ruigi charges for the Rude pair, and the Rude pair literally says Rude on the back.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, the Rude pair is kind of like an inspiration. Like, it's inspired by the Jordan 1 at the end of the day, and like so is Nick's pair. And I feel like if Ruigi can do that, there's no way he can be like, yo, this pair is close to being mine, because it's not. They're just both their own takes on the Jordan 1. And I actually think that the collegiate pair is a lot cleaner. I personally would never consider buying the Ruigi or the Rude pair, to be honest. I don't think that they look nice at all. Especially the sole is too yellow. It looks like it just looks too yellow.
Yeah.
And the big Rude text on the back is also not really my vibe. I don't need them to say Rude on them like that. I think the collegiate pair, like we've discussed before, is very clean. The only reason I haven't pulled the trigger on a pair myself is because I just feel like I wouldn't get a lot of wear out of them, because at the end of the day, I'm either going to wear my common projects or I'm going to wear Jordan 1s. I'm not really going to wear kind of like a hybrid shoe in between.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's my reasoning behind not owning a pair, but I do think that they're a great shoe. Don't get me wrong.
So the counter argument, right? Somebody would say, well, look, the new collegiate pair is just inspired by what Virgil did at LV. I mean, do you buy that argument or not really?
I think it's different, because the Jordan 1 is like a cult classic. And you see like the replica sneakers of the Jordan 1, the Fugazis, the Empire City ones, right? I believe they're called.
Yeah, Empire City Highs.
Yeah, Empire City Highs. I mean, there's just there's many. It's just a cult classic that is now open to people doing their own take on.
Right.
Virgil's shoe is like, I'm not gonna say it's a brand new silhouette. Obviously, it is, but I can definitely see his own inspiration in. I think he's inspired by the Jordan 3, the Jordan 1, and a little bit of the Jordan 4. But the sneaker is very much its own thing. And I don't think it's been out for a year. And like, it's definitely the most popular sneaker in Virgil's Louis Vuitton range.
Right.
And it's way too soon, dude. And like, I don't know, it's just too similar. I don't think that argument can be applied really here to this scenario.
Yeah, and something else that I think is good for the audience to know. I think patent law in the U.S. is like over anything after 20 years is fair game. So that's why, for those wondering, well, how come Nike hasn't gone after, Ore or Trevor at Fugazi or any other replica Jordan 1s? I believe it's because the shoe is so fucking old that it doesn't have like the patent protection. I think Reggie at the Casual did a good video on that. Same thing with like the Bapesta, because it's inspired by the Air Force One, and that shoe is like ancient. So like, the lawsuit argument is not there. But yeah, like the LV trainers are, I mean, 2 years old, less than that. So I don't know. It's just very soon. But this is not to slander Nick or anything he's doing at Collegium. I love what he's doing. I love his shoes, and
right.
I think we both respect him for what he's doing.
Shout out Collegium, honestly. He's doing his thing out there.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. I'm just a little concerned about the silhouette, but yeah, I think it's funny how you thought.
I mean,
you looked at the picture and you thought it was another colorway of the LVs.
Dude, like I said, I mean, I don't think that, at least not in that colorway, I don't think that that's going to make, at least not the first release.
Okay.
Like, I don't think that they'd risk that, in my opinion. If they do, then that would really surprise me.
Yeah. Well, enough about Collegium. Shout out Nick and what he's doing over there. I wish him the best of luck. And like I said, I have a few of his shoes, and I absolutely love what he's doing. But moving on to vintage, I know I talked about 501s that I picked up, but just wanted to give some time for T and I to talk about vintage on the Selective. I think it's something that we're serious about moving into in the near future. I think once we're in New York and we have physical capabilities to go out and source goods, it'll be a little easier for us. But vintage is something that we're thinking about carrying, and one of the reasons, at least for me, a big reason why I love it, obviously, is the sustainability part. Like, I love being able to give old clothes a new, fresh breath of life, Definitely. If you will.
And you're basically supporting, like, if I'm buying a vintage T-shirt, it's one less, I guess, new T-shirt that's being made, right?
Right.
And I mean, yeah, like you said, you're giving a new life. It's like adopting a pet, right? Instead of buying one like at a pet shop or like
from a breeder.
Or something like that. It's like this animal has been abandoned. You get to give it a new life, right?
Right.
I see it kind of in a similar way. But vintage on the Selective, yeah, I mean, we are going to be posting an ad on our Instagram very soon, because we are actually looking for a new member to join the Selective team, someone that's going to help us get into the vintage game. So if actually you guys are going to hear it first on the podcast, if anybody's listening right now and has any experience with vintage or anything, and, would like to join the team at the Selective, shoot me a DM if you're listening to the podcast right now on IG, or send the Selective Instagram a DM on Instagram.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll be posting the ad up with the formal sign up very shortly. So if you guys see that, you guys can sign up that way as well.
Yeah.
And on the Selective, a lot of our items are obviously on the higher end side, quite expensive. So it would be nice to break into that new market as well. And obviously with our curation and the curation of the members on our team, I feel like we've built a very high taste level for the items that we do carry in the store.
Yeah.
And, obviously with vintage, that'll stay the same. And, we hope to be able to provide you guys with, really great items and a great selection on a vintage on the Selective.
Yeah. Another point, a good point on that too, is that like just being able to, because like you said, a lot of the stuff is expensive. So giving people the opportunity to go on the site and be able to cop something from the Selective that's a little bit more affordable, give people a little bit more accessibility to what we're doing. I don't know. It would just seem nice. It would add to the buying experience, I think. And it would just add to all the work we're doing at the Selective. And vintage is great. It's something that we all love. It's something that, it seems these days is a little harder to get. And hopefully with our efforts, we can help make that a little bit more accessible.
And it's definitely more expensive. Like nowadays it's increasingly expensive. So we're also going to try to have a focus on not only bringing you guys quality items, but also, items at a good price. So yeah, we hope you guys enjoy that coming soon.
100%. We're not trying to tax too crazy. But yeah, T, dude, it's been It's been a good episode. We've been going for 46 minutes. Bro, every time we stop recording, we always say this. It goes so fast when we're recording.
Dude, that's crazy. 46 minutes, man. That's what I always tell people. I mean, I always say this, but people come onto the podcast and it'll be their first time doing something like this. And even my first time.
Yeah.
You're like a little bit intimidated, a little bit nervous.
Right.
And then you come on and you realize you're just kind of like chopping it up and talking, having a good time. And the time really just goes by so quick, dude. I can't believe this has already been 46 minutes.
Yeah, dude. It always goes by so fast. I don't know. You're like super hyper focused when you're recording the pod, and you just kind of like lose sight of everything else around you, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But guys, as always, thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of the Selective Podcast. I know it's a little bit more casual. It's just T and I chopping it up, but it's always good to have that kind of content. I'm not going to give you all a big teaser into next week, but we have a really, really big guest coming on the show within the next 2 weeks. Someone who is very well solidified in the archive space and the vintage space. Not going to give it away, but T and I are super happy to be able to have him on the pod. That's coming down the pipe. And of course, I'll be back in New York in July. T's going to be out there around the same time. So we're going to start planning out some of the other initiatives that we're going to be doing. T, before we get out of here, man, anything you want to plug, any shout outs you want to give?
No, shout out to Selective, new drop coming very soon. So keep your eyes out. A lot of great items as always. And make sure to hit us up if you guys have anything you want to consign, of course. And we'd be happy to take care of that for you.
Absolutely. Guys, as always, keep it locked in on the Selective for more podcast episodes, future drops, and of course, unique editorial content every week. From myself and T, thank you all so much for listening to the show, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.